Hello, my lovely peaches. So I just had a little Instagram message exchange with someone, and I'm not going to say their name, and I'm not going to, in any way reveal anything about them that I feel like would be inappropriate. This is someone who's very passionate in the Britney advocacy, and there was a person who I guess had been being their friend, and there's several groups of creators, right? And they were friends. This group was friends, and then this group was friends. And in the last week there's been a lot of chaos, and then there was like a bunch of splintering, and then this group kind of had like a little bit of skew but maybe not, and then this group sort of like seemed to have a splinter but maybe not. Anyway, I saw on Instagram that my shirt is all wet. Sorry, distraction. I got coffee on my shirt. Ignore that. Okay, so this person who's trying to defend his friend posted something on Instagram, and then that made me message that person, and I was trying to lovingly and friendlyishly say, you know what, there's a lot of people out there that are toxic and immature, and literally the motive, the intention of a lot of the Brit brand movement, in my opinion, is that their game is make people think that, basically to be a mole, to get into the movement, to befriend other creators who are trying to help free Britney, getting the message out, and then basically blow crap up, mess up friendships, break trust, talk shit about people. And then if you can get a creator upset about you talking them and their friends and get them totally distracted from the movement, and now all busy working themselves up trying to get their message out, like, no, my friend is a good person, and you're talking shit about them. All of that is just distraction tactics, deflection, confusion. And my opinion and my friendly advice is, if you want to seriously advocate for Britney, then block those people and move on. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it burns. Yes, it feels bad. No, I am not defending anybody's effed up behavior. No, I am not the friend of the people who are doing bad stuff. I am the friend of people who want justice for Britney. So if you want justice for Britney, block that bitch and move on. Stop getting stuck in the... Okay, so my point is not in any way to rip anybody down. That's the exact opposite. The point is to say, hey, when people are trying to rip you down, don't let yourself get distracted, because that is literally what they want. It's their motive. Their motive is to make people look bad. Their motive is to infiltrate and to become a mole, to make you think that they're friends, that they're your friends, and then to try to rip you down. Try to say that, oh, you're trying to get fame or clout or this or that. And that's exactly what her team would love to make. So the greater topic of this is actually a perfect part 2 to my very dark video last night, which was very dark in lighting, content, and context. Okay, which is that ultimately, first of all, you've got to protect your own mental health. That's number one. Okay, no matter whether it's a Britney movement or any movement. When I was previously listening to Pema Chodron, who is a Buddhist nun teacher, she was giving a lesson about how anger can basically, you can use it in good or bad. And there was a whole talk about how, the Greenpeace people were just as angry as other angry groups. And essentially the teaching is that if you are just bringing more anger to whatever movement you are advocating for or against, then are you really helping, or are you just stirring things with more anger? Love and clarity and calmness is what we need, not more anger. And you've got to remember that don't fall for the trap. Okay, I wrote my notes down because I only have a few minutes and I'm trying to get it all in. Don't get distracted. Don't let them use your anger against you. Stay focused on your goal or your purpose, Ask critical questions. Is this the modus operandi of the very group that you are trying to fight against? Follow the money. Who does this benefit? If I react to their provocation and their instigation and it makes me look bad, am I literally feeding into their own very, MO? They're out here trying to make me and my friends look bad, so I'm going to get PO'd and I'm going to say things and do things that can be screenshotted and screen recorded and then turn around and make me look like a stalker who's unhinged, who's unwell, who won't leave somebody alone. Okay, so even when you're totally justified, remember, when you're dealing with narcissistic, abusive people, they will provoke you, they will harm you, they will abuse you, and then when you try to speak out against it, they will turn around and do something to make you upset, or you are upset because of what they've done, and then they try to use your anger to make you look unhinged and to discredit you. So you've got to really stay focused and remember that, okay? You've got to realize that if you are going up against powerful people, like look at Scientology, for example. My understanding from what I've learned is that Scientology will literally make hate websites about every single person who's out there trying to talk against them. And they will write articles, smear campaigns, and that's the tactic. So when you start to get hooked and you fall into that, you've basically you're letting them win. So stay focused and stay mentally well. And don't let them bait you into behaving in a way that you're going to regret, because they're doing exactly what they want, which is to discredit people who are spreading the truth about whatever organization. In this case, it might be Britney Spears' brand or team, the people who are, keeping her in this thing, or like I said, Scientology, or any organization, any group, even if it's just like with Alec Murdaugh, the woman who was exposing all of his financial lies was being, they tried to make her look bad. So my point is, anger is a powerful emotion, and we can use our anger to motivate us to to be called to action. But if you go into your call to action angrily and you just infuse and infest the movement with more of your anger, you're not actually doing anything but just being more angry. You notice how the light gets in between me and my eyelash filter? And I still have coffee. It was drying. I spilled coffee on myself and I wiped it off. I washed it off. But anyway, okay, so this video is really just to say, when we're passionate about something and we really have a message, especially if you're working against powerful people who want to make us look bad or want to discredit, want to, stamp out opposition, those people are going to do everything and anything they can. They will get moles, which means a mole is basically somebody who is working for the team that is, in opposition, even if it's just in politics. You got two sides of politics, and then a mole would be somebody who's really on one side going into, making it seem as if you're part of the other team. There's so many reasons to do that. You get insider information. Where's my eyelashes? You get insider information. You can, push a narrative. There's so many reasons that people who would be on the team opposing whatever cause you're trying to do, to literally befriend you. That's what I'm saying. You need to be careful who you trust. Don't trust anybody. And I know that's a hard thing to say. I mean, of course, eventually you've got to trust people, but don't just trust people because they're posting things like you're posting and they're saying the same thing, because you don't know if they're there because they're trying to befriend you to manipulate the situation. Be smart. Use your critical thinking. If you don't know what critical thinking is, look it up.
Thinking.
Duck, go it. I'm going to try to say duck, go instead of Google for